Welcome back in. All of Alabama talking about the Huntsville native on tour with the musical Hamilton. And we're talking about it tonight on our CBS 42 News special report. Sherry, you got to go all the way to New York and talk to him.
Jim, I did, asking him what everyone wants to know. How does a U of A graduate 3 years removed from college end up as the lead in what's surely the most sought-after ticket on Broadway? It's Michael Luoye's story, and I went backstage to get it.
Timing is everything for those lucky enough to see Hamilton at New York's Richard Rodgers Theater. Look around and see the sheer number of people pouring in for the most exciting musical of the decade. They come by the busload to claim their seat or standing room only spot.
It's a pretty limited view, but you can see the majority of the show from here.
So these seats would be sold.
My story tonight begins with Alabama's own Michael Luoye, an alternate lead in the smash hit Hamilton on Broadway, before giving me a tour of the theater.
It's hard not to feel a sense of levity and magic when you come into here, because you're on Broadway, you're doing this, and you're working with all of these amazing people, so it's hard not to sense that.
In talking to this Huntsville native, it's hard not to miss the magic to his story, too. We talked about it surrounded by views of New York, his home since graduating in 2013.
So for your first Broadway role to be the lead character in the biggest show, it's historical what Hamilton is doing, what does that do to you?
I don't think about it, honestly, because the show is it's rare, a phenomenon like this happening. I don't know the next time that this will happen.
He might not have time to think about it. Like the founding father on the $10 bill he plays in Hamilton, Luoye is nonstop. Not only does he alternate playing Alexander Hamilton, he's an understudy for Aaron Burr, the man who shot him. Neither is a role he initially sought, auditioning originally for Mulligan Madison. But remember, with this play, timing is everything.
I would have callbacks and I wasn't able to make them because of other jobs or other projects that I was working on. And so that was that spread out for months of auditioning and calling back and auditioning and calling back, up until around May, I believe it was. I started auditioning again for it, and they'd asked me to add another character for it, which was the Lafayette Jefferson role. And so I auditioned for that once, and then they started calling me back again for other things, and my very last audition was for Hamilton and Burr.
We traveled from this balcony to the one at the Richard Rodgers Theater, where we saw even more magic, especially when Luoye took us backstage.
Your demeanor's changing a little bit.
It's once you get into this space, it's a different thing, because you know what you're about to do. You know how you're about to affect the audience and what you're about to share with everybody. So, yeah, this is like a sacred space.
Coming through the camera.
As we were moved further backstage, it was clear it's a fun space too.
Can we tell you where we're going? We're going to the famous wall. You have to see this.
This is where everybody who's somebody has signed that they've been to the show. Emma Watson somewhere here. Yeah, there she is.
There's Sting and Steven Spielberg.
Joe Biden, Wiz Khalifa, and a myriad of others, all touched enough by this play to leave their mark. Surprisingly, it's an offstage moment that touches Luoye the most.
Right before the end of the show, everybody else is on stage and Hamilton's not on stage, and I just get to have a moment where nobody else is with me on the side of the stage, and to be able to do this work, I often tell myself that I have the best job in the world, because I really do believe that, and just knowing that we just created that, all of us just created that show, that always comes back and that hits me.
And when you're the lead role in the biggest play, it's nice to have something waiting in the wings for you.
And did we tell you he's a University of Alabama graduate? Michael Luoye is touring right now on the West Coast for the national tour of Hamilton. He's playing that lead role nonstop. You can go to WIAT.com right now to see our entire backstage tour, including that famous wall signed by all those famous people, plus a web exclusive of what happened when I waited in that long line hoping for a cancellation ticket.